Hi, everyone. Welcome to the 187 District Court. Today is Tuesday. Happy Tuesday, everyone. Whenever there's a holiday on Monday, people want to make Tuesday a Monday and a Tuesday. So let's not make today a Monday. These are the rules of the 187 District Court. You are in a courtroom. So whatever you could not do, if you were physically in the courtroom, you cannot do on this Zoom screen. So people who are at home, that means you're not to be laying in bed, you're not to be doing laundry, you're not to be cooking breakfast. To all of those people at work, you need to tell your employer that you need to take a break and you need to find a place that's quiet and stationary. To all the inmates, you're not allowed to, just one second. Yes, Cleophas, you're excused. Thank you for letting me know. All right, to all the inmates, you're not allowed to use the chat box. If you use the chat box, you will be sent back to your cell. You're not allowed to use the internet. If you use the internet, you will be sent back to your cell. To all the attorneys, if you have a plea bargain agreement, no matter how small that plea bargain agreement is, you need to put it in the chat box to Norma Ferguson. She's the court coordinator. She's listed as Ferguson coordinator. If your client is on bond, she will need your client's email address. Please do not call her, chat her, text her, email her asking for a reset. I'm the only person who can give that to you. I'm going to open breakout rooms. When I open breakout rooms, it's going to invite everyone to a breakout room. Do not go to a breakout room unless I specifically call you by name and assign you to that breakout room. To all of the defendants and those who are accused, your name will not be called. Your attorney's name will be called. If you do not hear your attorney's name, it is because your attorney is either Zooming in another courtroom or they had an in-person hearing in another county. Do not stress, just be patient. Everybody, it's Tuesday, put some patience in your pocket and we will get through this docket easily. Attorneys, I'm going to call your name. This is the order in which you'll appear. If you see that you're low on the list and you wish to Zoom to another courtroom, you're more than welcome to do so. However, if you Zoom to another courtroom and your name is called while you're in that courtroom, you'll be put at the bottom of the list. So this is the order of appearance: Cleophas Marshalls, Michael Latimer, Robert Wilson, Jaime Aldape, Rolando Agreas, Ron Ross, James Seeloff, Mary Peterzak, Juan Aguilera, Kelly McGinnis, Martin Guerra, Doug Campbell, Brian Kimbrough. Is there any defense attorney's name that I've missed? All right, to all attorneys, when I call your name, I need to know the name of your client and I need to know whether or not they are criminal trial division or family violence. If you have the ability to add to your name the name of your client and whether or not they're criminal trial division or family violence, that would be greatly appreciated by the court. However, if you don't know how to do that or you're unable to do that, I will do that for you. Attorneys, when you go to the breakout room, remember the prosecutors have the ability to move throughout the breakout rooms. If you leave that breakout room to tell me it's been 10 minutes that a prosecutor hasn't been in that breakout room, they're going to see that that breakout room is empty and they're going to skip over you. Think of those breakout rooms as when you go to the doctor's office, you don't see the doctor when the nurse calls you back there, even though you think that's what's going to happen. You're sent to a breakout room and they check your weight and blood pressure. So everybody put some patience in your pocket. Cleophas Marshall, I believe you had to leave, or are you still here? Yes, so he's off. Michael Latimer. Michael Latimer.
Yes, I believe it's a criminal trial division. I'd like to confer with my client, Ben Camareno.
How do you spell the last name?
C-A-M-A-R-E-N-O.
And you say you believe it's?
Well, I'm not sure. It's an ag assault with a deadly weapon, and I don't know if the victim is a family member or not. It's not indicated.
All right. Let me just check. Does anyone see Michael Latimer's client on the docket? Ah, there he is. Thank you. I'll send you to breakout room number 2. A prosecutor will meet you there.
All right, thank you.
Robert Wilson. Thank you for changing your name.
You're welcome.
I'll send you to number 3.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Jaime Aldape.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Yes.
I have Christian Pierre Lewis. This was an MTR. We've already got an agreement. It is CTD. It's going to be withdrawn. We just needed to have probation and Mr. Lewis sign the amended conditions.
All right. How do you spell your client's last name?
Lewis.
Okay.
I have the case number if you need it, Judge.
No, I don't need the case number. There's so many ways to spell Lewis now. All right. I'll send you to breakout room number 4. And Rebecca, if you could go to breakout room number 4, and let me see where your client is. Your client is
He's here,
Mr.
Judge.
Lewis. I'm going to send you to breakout room number 4. Can you unmute, please?
Yeah.
Mr. Lewis, they're telling me that they're withdrawing the motion. So you're going to be continued. You had better start doing better. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, because otherwise you could end up in prison. I don't think anyone wants to go to prison, right?
No.
All right, when you're on probation, communication is key. Make sure you communicate with the probation officer, all right?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 4.
Okay.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. All right, Roland Arguelles. I'm working on my L's.
Good-
Rolando
Good morning, Judge.
Arguelles.
You got it great this time.
Okay, awesome. All right, who do you have?
I have Stephen Allen Smith, Criminal Trial Division Judge. You set him for violation report status. I have not had contact with my client. I did email him the Zoom link yesterday morning when I received it, and nothing. I was gonna ask if we could get a short reset so I can try and keep on contacting him. If
Well, I
possible.
give everyone till 10:30. So if you want to check back in at 10:30.
Okay, we'll do, Judge.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Ron Ross.
Judge, I have Jonathan Ochoa, that's family violence. I've had no contact with him. I was appointed on August the 20th. I have tried to make contact. I've gone to the bail bondsman. They've given me numbers. None of those turn out to be good numbers, so I don't know.
All right, I give everyone until 10:30. So can you zoom back in at 10:30?
I will, Judge.
All right, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
James Seeloff.
Yes, Your Honor. Raymond Byrd, B-Y-R-D, Criminal Division, I believe. And I need to confer with the DA, please.
All right, I'll send you to breakout room number 5.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Mary Peterzak. Mary Peterzak. Juan Aguilera.
Yes, ma'am. Robert Beltran, CTD.
I'll send you to number 6. Kelly McGinnis, thank you for changing your name. I'll send you to number 7.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, Mary Peterzak, thanks for changing your name. I'll send you to number 8. Martin Guerra.
Morning, Your Honor.
Good morning. Thank
Here
you
on
for
a
changing your name.
You're welcome. You're welcome. And we are here on a violation report, Your Honor. And Mr.
Right.
Hetnick is present as well.
Do you have the violation report?
I do.
All right, do you want to confer with let me let you confer with the state over that. I'm going to send you to breakout room number 9.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Doug Campbell,
Morning, Judge. I've got Mr. Vasquez,
oh, thank you for changing your name.
CTD case, Judge.
All right, I'm gonna send you to number 10.
Thank you.
Brian Kimbrough, who do you have?
I have Max Armendariz, MTR, Criminal Trial Division.
I'll send you to number 11.
Thank you.
Tilden Schaefer. Thanks for
Judge,
changing your name.
Judge, this was the PTD. It looks like it was actually dismissed last week. You had us coming back to make sure he was working on stuff. He's almost finished everything. I didn't. So I
Well, let
wasn't
me
sure.
see. Your client is Williams. Yes, it shows that it's been dismissed.
Okay, I just want to make sure. Belts and suspenders. Just.
All right, thank you.
Okay. Have a great day, Judge. Thank
All
you.
right, thank you, you too.
Thank you.
Adam Flores.
I'm right here, Your Honor.
Yes.
We're waiting for the bond condition.
Who do you have?
I have, his name is, Mr. Vincent Escobedo.
Criminal Trial Division or Family Violence?
I believe family violence, Your Honor.
All right, I'm gonna send you to breakout room number 12.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. All right, is there any attorney who has not been assigned to a room yet? All right, then everyone be patient.
Your Honor.
Yes.
So will I be directed to the room with my attorney afterwards, or how does that go? I don't know how this goes from here.
Okay, so everyone needs to make sure they listen when I give instructions. If your attorney wants you to go to a breakout room, your attorney will request for you to go to a breakout room. So until you're requested to go to a breakout room, you're just to remain where you are.
Okay, so I'll see something on my screen for this, or it'll direct me all. I don't know. This is my first time I've been on Zoom, so I'm not sure what to expect.
All right, just wait, and your attorney will request you if they want you.
Okay, so that'll show up on my screen or something.
Yeah, yes.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. Kay Jackson. Kay Jackson. You need to unmute. Your audio is not working.
Can you hear me?
Yes, Miss Jackson?
Yes.
You need to find a stationary place, and you need to remember that you are on Zoom for a courtroom, which means that you are in the 187 District Court. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, anyone who does not follow the rules, your day is going to turn into a Monday because you're going to be required to get in your vehicle and come down to the 187 District Court. There is construction downtown. There are a lot of one-way streets, and then you have to pay for parking. So everyone needs to understand that. So this is going to be my last announcement to everyone that you need to behave as though you are physically in a courtroom. And everyone needs to make sure they're on mute. Kelly McGinnis, you're back.
Yes, Judge. I was wondering if we could have one more setting. I just conferred with David. I'm going to provide him some documentation. My client is on the Zoom.
All right, has an offer been tendered?
Yes, I have an offer.
Okay. So where's this case headed?
I hope it's going to be. I'm going to provide some documents to David, and I think it could possibly be resolved at the next setting.
All right. Norma, can you give them a 30-day reset on Mr. Trevino?
Yes, ma'am. October 12th.
All right. And Ms. McGinnis, have you received all the discovery in this case?
I believe so, Judge.
Okay. So October 12th, that will be your plea deadline date.
Okay.
And you and your client are excused.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Have a great day.
You too.
Your Honor, may I approach?
Yes.
We just finished the amended paperwork for Christian Pierre Lewis, Lewis.
Yes.
He signed and agreed to them. It's my understanding that the MTR will be withdrawn and you should have the paperwork fairly soon, Judge.
All right, thank you.
Maybe excused, Your Honor.
Yes, you're excused. And Norma, you can let them know. Rebecca, have you finished speaking with Mr. Lewis?
I excused him. I spoke with the deputy.
All right, thank you.
Thank
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Thank you. All right, anyone else back from the breakout room? Okay. Leandro Gonzalez. Leandro Gonzalez. You need to get your camera in focus and you need to be on the screen. Juan Aguilera. You're on mute.
Yes, ma'am. On Robert Beltran, we have
Yes.
a plea bargain agreement. Marcus and I have worked something out. I'm not sure whether Marcus is there, but we do have an agreement. We can just, I can talk to him, or we can advise him that we have an agreement.
Okay. All right, if you all will put it in the chat. And where's Mr. Beltran?
He's in jail.
All right, let me see where he is.
He may be in the breakout room still.
Yes, he is still in the breakout room.
Okay.
All right, then if you all will let Norma know in the chat box what the agreement is, we will do the paperwork and take
Okay.
care of that. Just one moment. Doug Campbell, you're back.
Yes, Judge, can I speak to my client? I was in room 10. I don't know if you just want to put him in there with me.
Is your client on bond or in custody?
He is 187 Vasquez 14G on screen. He's in custody.
All right, I'll send you to number 11. And Mr. Vasquez, if you could go to 11, please.
Yes, ma'am.
Martin Guerra.
Yes, Your Honor. Went ahead and conferred with Marcus. It's going to take about a week for Mr. Hetnick to get into compliance. His truck is in the shop right now, which is why it hasn't been calibrated.
So where's Mr. Hetnick?
He's on screen, Your Honor.
Mr. Hetnick, where are you? If you can unmute.
Right here, Your Honor.
All right, they're telling me your vehicle is in the shop.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have proof that it's in the shop?
It's ready to be picked up, but I mean, you can call, I can give you the number to the.
Oh, no, I'm not gonna, no. I'm not calling anyone. My question is, do you have proof of that?
Well, I have no other paperwork until I go to pick the vehicle up.
So somebody just let you turn in a vehicle without them providing you any paperwork saying these are the problems with the vehicle, this is what it's going to cost.
Well, I signed something that they said it was going to take probably 2 hours of their lookup service that they charge you to start with, and I signed that, but I don't even remember getting anything off of that, any paperwork off that. It's a dealership in Kerrville, Texas.
All right, and when was this done? What date?
It was done on the 26th of July.
So how long has your vehicle been at this dealership?
Since July 26th.
And how have you been moving around?
I don't hardly go anywhere. My wife, with the other vehicle, if I need to go somewhere, I don't work. I haven't worked in over 7 months.
Nope. My question is, how have you been getting from point A to point B if this vehicle is in the shop?
I don't go anywhere.
Your Honor,
So you're telling me, Martin Guerra, so he's telling me since July 26th, he hasn't gone anywhere?
Well, Your Honor, he's had a heart attack. He hasn't been able to work for many months, and he's been out of town, and so he didn't have a vehicle. He wasn't driving.
Marcus Sanders?
Yes, Judge, I just learned it. So when speaking to Martin, I said that I would like to know how long it would take for him to get his vehicle back. Initially, I was told it would be like a day today, or maybe tomorrow. But if he's not able to get his vehicle back within a certain amount of time, then I'd ask that he be put on some other monitoring device.
All right, because I mean, the vehicle's been at the shop since July. Which dealership is this?
Kernwagen Motors in Kerrville, Texas.
Because I mean, July, August.
Yes, ma'am.
I mean, what's wrong with this vehicle?
Well, they had to replace the fuel pump that was in it. The car's fixed, ready to go, but I was out of town when it was finally got repaired.
Where were you out of town?
I was in Idaho at my cousin's wedding.
Okay. So here's the issue. The issue is he's not being monitored by anything. So he's going to be monitored on something.
The car's ready to be picked up, but my wife is working and I can't get down there till her day off on Monday, because I'm not supposed to be driving.
All right. He needs to be monitored on something. So what is he going to be monitored on? Anyone?
Your Honor, the other issue is he lives in Fredericksburg, so he's not here in the city center.
Okay, I understand what everyone's saying, but he needs to be monitored on something. So what is he going to be monitored on?
Well, Your Honor, let me ask you this. Can he have until Monday to pick up his vehicle so he can get it calibrated?
All right, so here's, I understand what you're saying, counsel, but here's the issue. The issue is He hasn't been monitored since July. He's been to a wedding. I'm sure alcohol was served at the wedding. I'm not saying he drank at the wedding or anything, but he needs to be monitored on something. Like he hasn't been monitored since July and he's charged with driving while intoxicated third.
Well, he hasn't been indicted either, Your Honor, but
No, I hear what you're saying, but I mean, the rules of the road are, if you have a DWI, do I take that as true? No, but everybody here knows that if you're charged with a DWI, you're on some type of monitoring for alcohol, be it GPS. Is there anyone here who's ever heard of somebody who is charged with DWI second or third, and he's charged with a third, not be on some type of alcohol monitor system?
well, I mean, the law is clear. If he has a DWI third, he has to get ignition interlock installed, and he did that. His vehicle has been in the shop. And now on August 25th, I believe is when we got the violation report. So again, he's got the ignition interlock. So as far as I'm concerned, he is in compliance. Now, whether he has any access to it, no, he doesn't. But at the same time, he's not driving. Unfortunately, because of the fact he does live in a rural part of town, he's got a heart attack. He hasn't been working.
Okay, the problem is I don't know if he's been driving or not. Because one, there hasn't been an affidavit of non-driving done by your client. Number two, his wife has a vehicle. And number three, he hasn't been monitored since July. So he needs to be on some device. So what device is he's going to be on? His car is on ignition interlock, but it's not being used. So that's no good.
Well, you can put him on a portable alcohol monitor until he can get his vehicle back.
There we go.
So how am I
So,
going to
and
get
you're
there?
going to,
How am I
I'm
gonna
sorry?
get there? How will I get there to do that when I won't be able to go anywhere and do anything until my wife gets her day off on Monday?
Well,
And then I've got to go out of town to do that, which would be the same day I can go pick up the car.
here's my thing. People are coming to me with problems that are not of my making. This vehicle has been in the shop since July. Everyone knew that you were supposed to be on monitoring by ignition interlock. Either pretrial services decided, hey, let's give him a chance because, he has all these issues going on in his life. So what I'm telling you is I received this August 25th. We're here in September. And by your own acknowledgement to me, you haven't been on anything since July. And I always say, and people always tell me, if it's important, you treat it like it's important. The wedding, that was important, so you went to the wedding. Obviously, filing an affidavit of non-driving is not important, so it wasn't done. So now people come to me and they want me to do something, and here's the thing, not doing it. So I'm gonna put you on, you can do Scram, and that's gonna need to be on no later than tomorrow.
Your Honor, can you waive the fees on that?
It's an outside entity, so they won't allow me to waive the fees, but I'll write in there, waive the fees, put him on an indigent list, and I'm gonna get a report back saying that I'm not allowed for fees to be waived, but I'll put that in there.
So where am I supposed to go to get this done or whatever?
You need to speak to your attorney and speak to pretrial services.
Your Honor, the last DWI I had was 30 years ago.
Hey, Robert, we'll take that up at another time on that part.
All right, thank you. If there's nothing else, you're both excused.
Robert, you can go ahead and sign off, and then I'm going to call you up.
Judge, can I speak to Meredith McIntyre again?
Yes, I will place you in breakout room number 4. That room should be empty. Jason Goss, who do you have?
I have Leandro Gonzalez.
I'm sorry, who?
Leandro Gonzalez,
Criminal Trial Division or Family Violence?
Criminal Trial Division.
All right, I'll place you in breakout room number 8. Blakely Moore. Let me find out where Robert is. He's in number 3. I'll place you in number 3. And I think we lost Blakely. Ignacio, who do you have?
Yes.
Yes, who do you have?
Oh, I have Faustino Guerra.
Criminal trial division or family violence?
This is a family violence case.
Okay. I'll send you to breakout room number 13.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. All right, and if there's anyone available for family violence, we have Adam Flores in breakout room number 12 on Vincent Escobedo. James Seelaw.
Yes, Your Honor. Can we put this on recall? My client has been given an offer from Meredith McIntyre to take this plea to county court 1, but he wants to go with confer with his family in the next day or 2.
All right, can you have Mr. Byrd come out of the breakout room? And he's in breakout room number 5. Let me send you to number 5.
And just tell him to go to Maine? Okay,
Yes,
thank you.
you're welcome.
Thank you.
Just one second. All right, let me see if your client was able to make it out of the breakout room. Yeah.
Judge?
Yes.
Judge, yeah, the reason I told him to stay in the breakout room is he's decided to take the deal. It will be a plea in County Court 1 set up by Meredith.
Okay, and when will this plea take place? Does anyone know?
I'm trying to get it done this week, Judge. I don't have the actual date yet, but whenever it does, our case will be dismissed.
All right, so is it a matter of getting with the prosecutors or it's a matter of getting with the court?
Both, Judge. But it should happen this week.
Okay. Norma, on Raymond Bird, can we recall this and we'll just put this on Friday then?
Okay.
That works.
All right, Norma, can you put Mr. Bird on Friday?
That's right.
And
And
so
Meredith,
that
you-
will be the 10th.
Meredith, you'll let me know, or will I just get a new Zoom number, County Court 1?
I'll copy you on the email I send to the prosecutors.
Okay. Thank you for your help, Meredith. And if I can go back to the breakout room and I'll tell him, and if with
Yes.
the judge's permission, can I be excused and can he be excused?
Yes, you're both excused. And if that plea is taken care of before then, you and your client won't need to come back on this date.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Have a good rest of your day.
Thank you. Can I go back to my client briefly?
Yes.
Thank you. Stay safe, Judge.
Oh, thank you. You too. Doug Campbell?
Judge, can I speak to Hunter Morris again, please?
Sure. I'll send you to breakout room number 1. And James, you can go to number 5 on your own. You're still assigned there.
Thank
you. And Judge, I left my client in room number 11, just so you know.
Mr. Morris, could you go to breakout room number 1 with Doug Campbell, please?
Judge, can I see in a breakout room really quick?
Yes. Let me see what's open. I'll go with a number 4.
Okay.
Michael Latimer?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes.
I spoke to my client, Mr. Camareno, and I talked to Hunter, but we've determined that this is a family violence case, so I'll need to talk to a family violence prosecutor.
All right. Let me send you to breakout room number 4.
Okay.
And if there's someone from family violence available to go to breakout room number 4, please. Yes, one Aguilera.
Judge, outside all the paperwork, you put me back in the breakout room with Mr. Beltran, so I can go over the paperwork with him.
All right. Yes, he's still in number 6. So if you'll go to breakout room number 6, he's there.
Okay.
Thank you. Mr. Campbell. Norma, could you have a deputy get in touch with Mr. Campbell, who appears to be asleep on this Zoom screen, please?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. He's 14M. Hello, Rolando, you're back. Rolando?
Oh, sorry, Judge. I couldn't hear you.
Yes.
We looked for my client. We even called all the numbers on the violation report, and to no avail.
All right, just give us 15 more minutes because I give everyone till 10:30.
Yes, Judge.
Thank you. Brian Kimbrough?
Yes, Your Honor. I have conferred. This is an MTR. I got appointed on this Friday afternoon. So I just met my client a few minutes ago. Now he has an out-of-county case, and the basic issue is the out-of-county case in Guadalupe County that he's told me about, but I haven't been able to look into it. So I would ask the court to grant me a 2-week reset so I can research this case, see where we're at, and then if we can't resolve it, set it for a contested hearing. But right now, I mean, I've looked at the MTR for a couple of minutes, but I'm just starting out.
All right, is your client in custody?
Yes, he is, Mr. Armendaris. Max
All
Armendaris.
right, can you go back to breakout room number 9 and have him come to the main room?
Have him come? Sure.
Yes. Mr. Campbell? Mr. Campbell,
Yes, ma'am.
how old are you?
I'm 28.
All right, what are you here for?
I'm MTR,
And what are you on probation for?
terroristic threats.
All right. So is this matter important to you or unimportant? Is this important to you?
It's important to me, Your Honor.
So why are you sleeping and laying down on Zoom? Do you want to be sent back to your cell?
No, Your Honor.
Then you had better start acting like you're in court. Do you understand? If you fall asleep or go to sleep on this Zoom or do something inappropriate one more time, you're going to be sent back and we'll see you in 30 days.
All right. I'm sorry.
That's not all right. That's either yes or no. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Armendaris.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm going to give your attorney a reset so that he can look into your case. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, what I'm going to do, Mr. Kimbrough, I'm going to reset this. I'm going to give you a 30-day reset and I'm going to set it as a contested motion to revoke. If it turns out it's not contested, if it turns out you want it set sooner, just let the court know and we'll set it sooner than that.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Norma?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you give him a 30-day reset, but it'll be contested on Max Armendaris?
Yes, ma'am. I can do October 11th.
All right. Is October 11th a good day for you, Mr. Kimbrough?
1 second.
I think a little bit earlier. I have a trial coming the 12th. It's going to be a long one. So I would like to do it maybe a couple of days earlier than that, if possible. Let me look at my calendar.
Is your trial that's coming in Bexar County?
No.
Okay. All right, yes.
Hayes County.
All right. So Norma, can you do it a couple of days earlier?
Yes, ma'am. Give me 1 second. I can do
7th or 8th?
7th or the 8th. I can do the 7th.
Okay, that'll work. Thank
All right.
you.
Yeah, we'll do the
we will
7th in
see-
the afternoon.
Okay, thank you.
All right, then Mr. Armandaris will be back on the 7th at 2 p.m. If things work out before then your attorney can always let the court coordinator know, and we'll put it on the docket sooner than that. Do you have any questions?
No, ma'am, I don't. Thank you for your time.
All right, thank you. Norma, can you let them know that L1 can go back? Thank you, Mr. Kimbrough.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Yes, ma'am. I just talked to him.
All right, thank you. And if there's a family violence prosecutor available, Michael Latimer is in breakout room number 3 on Ben Camarino. All right, and Joe Ray, did someone speak to Mary Peterzak?
I went in there, Judge. She's on another Zoom call.
Okay. And then if there's anyone available on CTD for Oscar Hernandez, he's in breakout room number 4 on Myra Santos. And the clerks need to go to breakout room number 6, please.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, Anastia.
Yes, Your Honor, I need to speak to David Martin.
All right, if you'll go to breakout room number 12, and David Martin, if you could go to number 12, please.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Michael Latimer.
Yes, Your Honor. We have an agreement on this case on Camareno.
All right, if you'll just put that in the chat box to Ms. Ferguson.
Oh, yes. Okay, thank you.
And is your client in custody or on bond?
In custody.
All right, let me see where he is. All right, Norma, we need Mr. Camarino. He's in custody.
He was on Zoom, Judge. Give me 1 second. Where did he go?
He's not in any of the breakout rooms. Ah, I found him.
Okay.
And then I sent you a chat.
Yes, ma'am. I'm trying to get a hold of them.
All right, thank you. All right, Mr. Latimer, I sent you to a breakout room with your client. All right, Mr. Latimer.
Yeah, I'm typing my chat right now.
All right, thank you. Ignacio?
Yes, Your Honor, if I could confer with my client one more time.
Sure.
He was in 13.
Just one moment. All right, I'm going to send you to number 10. Your client is in there waiting for you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Ron Ross?
Yes, ma'am.
You're back on.
I am Jonathan Ochoa. I still have not got a hold of him unless he's in the courtroom.
He is in the courtroom.
Could you put me in a room to talk with him?
Yes. To the courtroom? If you can go to breakout room number 3, please.
Yes, Judge.
And Mr. Ross, I'll send you to number 3.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Yes, Jason Goss?
Yes, Your Honor. I've talked to Tom. There's some discovery stuff that he's checking into. We don't have any videos or anything, and it's an evading with a vehicle. So I'm assuming that there are, and they're going to be very important. So I guess if we could get a reset, once we get all that stuff, I think that we're in negotiations to talk about a potential agreement.
All right, and State, when do you think you will have these videos?
I'd say a couple of weeks, Judge. I already sent an email to Eddie to get with DPS, and he's pretty diligent. So we're just a couple of weeks. So regular reset will work because once we get them, we'll upload them and defense will have them.
All right, Norma, on Leandro Gonzalez.
Yes, ma'am.
Can I get a 30-day reset for discovery, please?
Yes, I can do October 13th.
All right, we'll see you back on October 13th.
Okay, thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. And Mr. Gonzalez, we'll be back on October 13th. All right, you both are excused.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Does anyone know what is happening with Doug Campbell? Does he meet his client in that breakout room? Meredith?
I don't know. I was in that room earlier with James Seeloff. I can get in there and see what he needs. Hold on.
All right, thank you. All right, and Norma on Hernandez? On
Yes,
Michael
ma'am.
Hernandez, can you recall that for tomorrow? His attorney had an emergency.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Hernandez, we're going to bring you back tomorrow. He is L8, Norma.
How long?
Mr. Latimer, your paperwork is ready. It should be in your email.
Okay, thank you.
All right, who's available from the prosecutor's office on Beltran to take plea? On Beltran.
Me, Judge Marcus.
Unmute yourself, Robert.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Beltran, are you able to mute and unmute yourself?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so I'm going to ask that you mute yourself, and then when I ask you a question, if you will unmute yourself. And
Yes.
what you'll see is you'll see a request from me to unmute yourself, so you'll know to do that, all right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court is calling 2021 CR 2956, State of Texas versus Robert Anthony Beltran. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state,
Marcus Sanders.
for the
Juan
defense?
Aguilera, attorney for Robert Beltran.
All right, and are you Robert Beltran?
Yes, Your Honor.
We're proceeding by video because of the pandemic. Any objections from the state?
None.
Any objections from the defense?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Beltran, I'm showing you what's entitled Defendant's Consent to Appear by Video Conference. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily consented to appear by video. Next, I'm showing you what's entitled Application for Deferred Adjudication or Community Supervision. Did you review that document with your attorney? And did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, I'm showing you the discovery acknowledgement. Have you received all the discovery in this case, and did you review it with your client?
I have, Your Honor, and I have.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Beltran, I'm showing you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that document with your attorney, and did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
We do, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Yes, Judge.
Mr. Beltran, I'm going to show you a document entitled Court's Admonishments and Defendant's Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand what you're charged with? Possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1 gram to 4 grams. That's a third-degree felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea bargain agreement. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea bargain agreement and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you, and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call, and the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea bargain agreement in this case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand if the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty and sentence you up to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine? Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses to this offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
He does, Your Honor.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
In my opinion, he is, and he was, Your Honor.
Mr. Beltran, has anyone threatened you, forced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, Your Honor.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea bargain agreement to get you to enter this plea?
No, Your Honor.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his rights to jury trial. Showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that page with your attorney, and did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
According to the plea bargain agreement, there's a $1,000 fine to be probated. State recommends deferred adjudication. They will take in consideration 2020 CR 1206. grand jury number 734514. And there's $114 restitution to SAPD for drug testing. Did you understand that to be the plea bargain agreement, Mr. Beltran?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense, is that the plea bargain agreement?
It is, Your Honor.
State, is that the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Judge.
Next, Mr. Beltran, I'm going to show you the paragraph entitled Waiver of Appeal. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in both places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Next, I'm showing you outside the plea bargain agreement. The state is requesting that your deferred adjudication be for a term of 2 years. There be a TAP evaluation, 120 hours of community service restitution, no contact with Rancho Sierra Apartments at 1327 Mission Grande or La Quinta Inn at 6511 West Military Drive, and a MIC biop evaluation. Did you understand those are recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, Your Honor.
Then to offenses charged in the indictment, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest, Your Honor.
State, any evidence to support the defendant's plea?
Yes, Judge. The state offers states Exhibit 1 and its attachments.
Any objections?
No objections, Your Honor.
Mr. Beltran, I'm going to show you what's entitled Waiving Consent to Stipulation of Testimony and Stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. The court will accept into evidence states Exhibits 1 and attachments, and the court will review the same. And
Yes, Your
Mr.
Honor.
Bass, if you'll go to breakout room number 3, please.
Thank you, Judge.
And Mr. Ross, you need to confer with the state.
I do. I'm sorry, I was on mute. I do need to confer with the state. Yes.
No problem. I'm going to send you to a breakout room. And it's Jonathan Ochoa's family violence.
Yes,
I'll
ma'am.
send you to breakout room number 3.
Thank you, ma'am.
I'm sorry, number 4.
Hello?
All right, everyone, just give me a moment. All right, after reviewing states Exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. However, the court will defer finding of guilt as you applied for deferred adjudication. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Your Honor, yes. I think one of the recommendations is that he have a MIC evaluation. And Mr. Beltran had indicated that he knew that he had some issues. And prior to his arrest, I believe in July, he had gone to the Center for Healthcare Services seeking assistance there. So he understands that he does have an issue and he's been sought help, and he welcomes the opportunity to use the services of the probation office to help him address any issues that he may have as a result of any mental issues that are probably causing him to use the drugs. So hopefully everything will be successful for him. So
All right.
we're asking the court to grant his application for deferred adjudication.
All right, Norma, I'm sending you a chat and then I'm sending you and Mr. Marshall to breakout room number 1.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Beltran, can you unmute yourself for me?
Yes, Your Honor.
Hi, what are your mental health issues that you're working on?
It was major depression and schizophrenia.
Okay, are you on any type of medications?
No, Your Honor, I have not been able to get any medication.
Have you ever been on any type of medication before?
No, in my process, I got arrested when I was going to the Center for Healthcare Services, and I wasn't able to complete my evaluation.
Do you have a place to live?
Yes, Your Honor.
Who would you be staying with?
I'd be staying with my mother.
And does she want you to stay with her?
Yes, Your Honor.
Have you lived with her before?
Yes, Your Honor.
So how often, when's the last time you used drugs?
Honestly, it was the day of my arrest.
All right, what's your drug of choice?
My choices will be marijuana, Your Honor.
Okay, you're not here for marijuana. So you've used more than marijuana in the past. What have you been using in the past?
Methamphetamine.
All right. And when did you first start using that?
Oh, I was really young, Your Honor, around middle school.
All right, was Child Protective Services involved in your life at all?
No, Your Honor, not at the moment. Or
How far did you go? How far did you go in school?
I completed high school, but I dropped out at first, and I had got into a program to complete my schoolwork after I dropped out.
So do you have your GED or no?
Yes, Your Honor, I have my diploma.
All right, what are you planning on doing with the rest of your life?
Well, when I get out, Your Honor, I plan on going to the it's a church service that my grandmother is pastor in, and I plan on going over there. Also, I have not done it before, but I'm planning on doing it. It was an idea that she had brought up to me. Hopefully it'll.
But I mean, what are your hopes and your dreams? Like, that's what I'm trying to get to.
Oh, to get my son back, Your Honor.
How old is your child?
He is 8.
Where is he?
He is with his mother, his biological mother. We're separated.
So is Child Protective Services involved at all or no?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. When's the last time you had employment?
A few years back.
So how you been supporting yourself?
My mother, Your Honor.
All right, and how old are you?
I am 26, Your Honor.
All right, so your mom shouldn't be supporting you because you're an adult.
Yes, Your Honor.
I'm going to require you to work.
Yes, ma'am. I believe I can go to the labor on demand.
Okay. All right, this is what the court is going to do. 2 years deferred adjudication, $1,000 fine that will be probated. Take in consideration 2020 CR 1206, grand jury number 734514. There's to be $114 to San Antonio Police Department for drug testing. There's to be no contact with Rancho Sierra Apartments at 1327 Mission Grande. There's to be no contact with La Quinta Inn at 6511 West Military Drive. We'll do a Nick mouth evaluation out of custody. Mr. Beltran,
Yes, Your Honor.
if you miss any of your MIC evaluation appointments to be interviewed, you're gonna end up doing that evaluation at the Bexar County Jail. You understand?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, Your Honor.
And those evaluations, there's a backlog, so it's going to take you a while to have that evaluation if you have to do it at the jail. So it's best for you that you do it out of custody. You understand?
Yes, Your Honor. And would that be also at the 1123 Main Avenue for the Center for Healthcare Services?
Probation will let you know.
Okay. Yes, Your Honor.
And Rebecca, if it's easy for him to go to the Center for Healthcare Services, let's make sure that that's done as well.
Okay.
There should be 120 hours of community service restitution. I'll waive 40 hours if you obtain the COVID vaccine. I'm not requiring anyone to get the vaccine, but if you obtain the vaccine, 40 hours of your community service will be deducted. I'm going to order parenting classes. And Rebecca, if he completes parenting classes, the remainder of the community service hours will be waived, but you must do parenting classes regardless. You understand, Mr. Beltran?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you able to report by Zoom? Do you know how to do that?
On telephone, I do not know, Your Honor.
All right, so we're going to do regular reporting. Are you able to Google, look stuff up on the internet?
Yes, Your Honor.
If you Google on the internet, how to Zoom, you can put in there how to Zoom by cell phone, how to Zoom by Android, how to Zoom by iPhone, how to Zoom by landline. It'll give you step-by-step instructions. But once you report to probation, I'm sure they'll tell you how to do it. So it's going to be regular reporting, in person or by Zoom. Going to do intensive outpatient treatment with probation. Proof of employment or SSI within 30 days of release. No employment as a home health care provider or with minors.
Because the victims are on my behalf.
Rebecca, is there anything else that he needs?
Were you gonna do random blood tests?
Thank you. We'll start off with the UA hotline for 30 days. Mr. Beltran, when's the last time you used marijuana?
The day of my arrest, Your Honor.
All right, so we'll do a drug test within 5 days of release. And Rebecca, if we can get some levels and see where he's at. And then after that first initial drug test, then we'll do the UA hotline for 30 days. If there are no problems with the UA hotline in him, then it could go to random UAs. If there is a problem, we'll keep him on the UA hotline. And I'm going to do random field visits. 2 times per month. All right, Mr. Beltran, is there anything else you need from the court in order to be successful?
No, Your Honor. That's all. Thank you.
You're welcome. Mr. Beltran, I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney and did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
And also, Mr. Beltran, I want you to remember this, all right? You're in deferred adjudication. Everything that you do from here on out, you need to ask yourself, is this a decision that could potentially result in me going to prison for 10 years, okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
And make sure you keep all of your appointments. If something comes up, you need to let probation know.
Valerie, can you hear me?
All right?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, if there's nothing else, we'll close the record. Mr. Beltran, good luck to you. And we're off the record, Brenda. Mr. Beltran, I know you're an adult, but if you're going to be living with your mom, you need to follow her house rules. So if she wants you in the house at a certain time, You need to be in the house at a certain time.
Right now.
Yes, Your Honor.
And there's something going on called COVID that some people may not have heard about. So don't be inviting people over to your mom's house when she's probably in an age category where it's not good for her to be around a bunch of people, all right?
Yes, Your Honor.
And since you've been at the Bexar County Jail, when you get there, you need to make sure you wear your mask around her, all right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, I'm gonna send you to breakout room number 1, probation, we'll go over conditions. Mr. Aguilera, you can go to number 1 or either you can be excused.
If I may be excused, Your Honor. Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome.
May I be excused?
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you, Marcus.
All right, Ron Ross, Jonathan Ochoa.
Yes, I've got a plea bargain offer. I have not actually talked to my client, met with him, conferred with him, haven't completed discovery. I was appointed 2 weeks ago. So I need like a 30-day reset. We'll be able to get the discovery, discuss it, and discuss a plea bargain offer. And hopefully, maybe.
All right, Mr. Ochoa, could you approach, please?
He was in the courtroom, I believe.
Yes. All right, Mr. Ross, do you have all of the information for Mr. Ochoa, his contact information?
I do. I've got his phone number, and we've arranged for me to talk to him at 2 o'clock this afternoon. So yes, ma'am.
All right. Norma, can I have a 30-day reset for Mr. Ochoa?
I need him after October the 10th, please.
Okay. I was like, December.
I expect October the 7th. I expect to be camping in the mountains of Colorado. Camping.
Oh, wow.
In a
You
tent.
have to send back pictures.
I will.
All right, Norma, what date?
October 12th.
That's fine. That's perfect.
All right, Mr. Ochoa, we're going to have you back on October 12th. You can either appear in person in the courtroom or you can appear by Zoom. Remain in the courtroom so they can give you your reset form. Thank you. Are you able to Zoom? Do you know how to Zoom?
Yes, I do.
All right, so just remain in the courtroom and we'll get a reset form for you. And Mr. Ross, you are excused.
Thank you, ma'am. And I'll see you at 2 o'clock. I'll talk to you at 2 o'clock today.
All right, thank you. Doug Campbell.
Judge, we're going to enter a plea bargain. The state's working on paperwork. I just need the waiver from Norma.
All right, thank you. If you'll put that in the chat box to Ms. Ferguson, she will get that to you. Ignacio Beretta.
Thank you, Your Honor. We're not able to reach an agreement. We're going to need to reset it for the next setting. But I would also like to inquire of the court. My client would like to ask the court for a bond reduction. Will the court entertain it now, or do you want me to file it for it?
Well, the question is whether or not the state wants to go on an oral motion.
Okay.
I mean, sometimes the state needs time to review. So let me see who are you conferring with?
With Stephen. I'm sorry, David Martin.
All right, David Martin. David Martin is always beaming from outer space, so sometimes his equipment works, sometimes
There
it
he
doesn't.
is.
All right, David Martin of Faustino. They would like a bond reduction. Are you able to do that today, or you want a different date?
No, not today.
All right. So what date will you all want?
Well, whatever day after they file their motion.
All right. So Mr. Barreto, when will you file your motion?
I'll be filing it today.
All right, Norma?
Yes, ma'am.
On Faustino Guerrera, could you give me a 3-week setting on that, please, for a motion for bond reduction? And Mr. Barreto, if you'll confer with the state, and if the state is ready before this date, just let us know, and Ms. Ferguson will move it up on the docket.
Okay.
Are they going to have witnesses, Judge?
Any witnesses, Mr. Barreto?
I don't anticipate any.
No. It sounds like it'll just be argument.
There may be a letter from his employer.
Or it'll just be argument.
I can do it on the 20th.
All right, we'll put you down for
Well, I'm
September.
sorry, that's not even 3 weeks, Judge. Give me 1 second. I can do it on the 29th.
All right, we'll come back on September 29th. And Mr. Barreto, could you go back to your breakout room and have your client come to the main room, please?
Yes, ma'am.
Because he's still in there. And I'll let him know when this is setting.
Norma, can you call and make sure Beltran gets back on? He never went to the breakout room. It looks like he left.
No, he's still in the main room. He just hasn't gone.
All right, Mr. Beltran, you need to go to breakout room number 1.
Okay.
Do you see where it says breakout room?
No, ma'am.
All right, at the bottom of your screen, do you see where it says participants? Or do you see where it says chat?
Yes.
All right, so you see chat, do you see breakout room? Four little boxes. I need to file back on Hernandez, Cleopas' client. All right, this is what I'm going to do, Mr. Beltran. I think he's found it. It's the small things, Brenna. Yay.
Hey,
All right,
Judge.
well, yes.
Oh, sorry. I just was going to let you know, we had to redo some of the plea paperwork on Francis Barnett, but we got it completed. So I guess it goes to the clerk next.
Yes.
Okay. So just stand by.
Yes, the clerk should be having it.
Okay, perfect. Well, I'll be here. Your Honor, I got to run into another courtroom here in Dallas, but I'll have my AirPods in.
Okay.
So I'll jump over as soon as you yell at us.
All right, thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Excuse me, Judge.
Just give me 1 moment, please. I'm just writing something on the docket sheet. All right, Mr. Arguelles.
Yes, Your Honor. I was gonna see if we could maybe reset my client to try and find him, or what the court wants to do with Mr.
All right.
Smith.
Your client is, what's his name?
Stephen Allen Smith.
All right, this is the problem. What I'm being told from the violation report, did you receive that?
Yes, Judge.
They don't know where your client is. And that, have you tried all the numbers that are on the contact sheet?
We did, Judge, and we did have an original email with him when I got appointed on his case. I did speak to him. He did give me his email. I sent him the Zoom link to that email, and I just haven't heard anything after that.
Okay, what I'm going to do is I'll give you until tomorrow.
Okay.
And if he's not here, then I'm going to have to do something with his motion.
Yes, Judge. May I be excused, Your Honor?
Yes, you're
What am I gonna
excused.
be on?
Thank you.
Okay, what am I gonna be on?
All right, Mr. Guerra, we're resetting your case. Your case is being reset till September 29th. Your attorney will file the motion and we'll hear the motion to reduce bond. If your attorney wants it heard sooner and the state is in agreement to hear that sooner, we will hear it sooner than September 29th. All right, Mr. Beretta, if there's nothing else, you are excused. I keep wanting to call you Beretta because I'm thinking of Beretta, the series.
It's Barreto.
Barreto, yes.
Uh-huh.
All right, I'll see you September 29th then. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Norman, can you let them know that Guerrera 14H can go back?
Yes.
And everyone else, I'm just waiting on paperwork. Once I receive the paperwork, then we'll go forward. Mr. Barnett, do you have any paperwork in your box or no?
I do not. I've completed the paperwork in my box.
All right, to the clerks, where's the paperwork on Mr. Barnett?
Judge, I just approved them. We need to come back.
All right, so Mr. Barnett, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 4. The clerks will meet you there to swear you in.
Thank you, Judge Boyd.
You're welcome.
And Judge, on this case,
Yes.
I believe there will be 2 victim impact statements, and I'm still waiting for those victims to log in.
All right, thank you.
Hunter, did you want to do those do we do those at sentencing or do we do those at the, at this phase?
Following sentencing, what was the plan for sentencing?
I was thinking that we need to do the PSI on this one, right?
It's up to y'all. It's a rec, so.
Yes, no, there's no PSI that's needed.
Okay. Well, I was gonna have my sentencing packet to you, Judge. I didn't have it set up to give to you today because I thought you were gonna do a PSI. I'm sorry.
No problem. Just give me a moment. Let me read over documents and we'll see where we are. At that time, I read over everything.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Yes. I've already sent it through. What are you looking for? The plea bargain has already been sent through.
Okay.
All right, thank you. All right, are the parties here on Francis Barnett?
I'm here, Judge Boyd.
Yes.
Yes, Judge, I believe we're still waiting on one person, one witness.
Okay. Well, let's, we'll do the plea and see where we are.
All right, Judge. And I want to make sure there were two different plea packets done, Judge, one with some changes. The correct plea packet will have the name listed as Francis M. Barnett.
Yes, I have the correct one.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. All right, Blakely, you are there. Blakely, I need you to show your video. Thank you.
Can you hear me all right?
Yes.
I apologize. I had to put the face mask on. I'm in a district court building right now.
No problem. The court is calling 2020 CR 1567, State of Texas versus Francis Barnett IV. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Hunter Morris.
For the defense?
Blakely Moore. And Your Honor, just to correct something on the record, the clerk's record has him as Francis Marion Barnett IV. He is Francis Marion Barnett VI.
Okay.
Which we don't see too many of those nowadays, but I want to make sure you had it.
People want to get creative with names.
I decided I didn't want my my kid to have to suffer with the name Blakely. So
All right, and also for the defense, Robert Wilson, is that correct?
yes, Your Honor.
And are you Francis Barnett?
I am, Your Honor.
We're proceeding by video because of the pandemic. Any objections from the state?
None, Judge.
Any objections from the defense?
No objections, Your Honor.
Mr. Barnett, I'm showing you what's entitled defendant's consent to appear by video conference. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it?
I did, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily consented to appear by video. I'm going to show you what's entitled application for deferred adjudication or community supervision. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it?
I did, Your Honor.
Counsel, do you waive the, I'm sorry. Brenna, it's like so hot back here. All right. Counsel, I'm going to show you what's entitled discovery acknowledgement. Have you received all the discovery in this case, and did you review it with your client?
Yes, Your Honor, we've received all relevant discovery in this case, and there's no other discovery needed for us to make an educated decision today.
All right, the court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Barnett, I'm going to show you what's entitled true bill of indictment. Did you review that document with your attorney, and did you understand it?
I did, Your Honor.
So in the body of the true bill of indictment, it just lists the defendant as Francis Barnett. Is there any oral motions to change?
Your Honor, I believe the state, just so we're clear, the state is going to do an oral motion to change a few paragraphs, also including paragraphs 3B and 4B, name a totally different defendant. Those need to be modified as well.
Okay. All right, any oral motions from the state?
Yes, Judge. The state would move to amend count 3B, changing the date listed in count 3B to the 12th day of December 2018, and changing the name of the defendant to Francis Barnett the 6th.
No objections, Your Honor.
All right, and Mr. Wilson, do you have any objections to those changes?
No objections.
Mr. Barnett, do you understand that those changes are considered material changes? Do you have any objections to those changes in proceeding?
I understand and I do not, Your Honor.
All right, then with those changes in mind, have you reviewed the document entitled True Bill of Indictment with your attorneys, and do you understand it?
I have and I do, Your Honor.
And do you understand the changes that have been, the oral changes that have been made to the True Bill of Indictment?
I do, Your Honor.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
We do, Your Honor. And just there was a little bit of lag. I just want to make sure we caught 4B as well.
I'll get it likely.
Oh, sorry. Okay, sorry.
So, counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
We do, Your Honor.
Mr. Wilson, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Judge, the state would further move to amend count 4B
Yes.
to change the date to the 12th day of December 2018 and the listed defendant as Francis Barnett the 6th.
Any objections from the defense?
No, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Barnett, do you understand those are material changes to the indictment?
I do.
Do you have any objections with proceeding?
I do not, Your Honor.
Well, with those changes in mind, have you reviewed and do you understand the true bill of indictment?
I have and I do, Your Honor.
Defense, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor.
Are there any other changes to the indictment?
No, Judge, not at this time.
All right. State, are you proceeding then with those oral motions to true bill of indictment? Are you proceeding with the indictment as presented?
Proceeding on counts 3B and 4B, Judge, waiving the remaining counts.
Any objections?
No objections, Your Honor. I just want to make sure that beyond just the counts, also the enhancement paragraph for the deadly weapon is being waived as well.
That is correct, Judge.
Mr. Barnett, I'm going to show you a document entitled Court's Admonishments and Defendants Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand you're charged with aggravated assault? Just
I
one
do,
moment.
Your Honor.
Just 1 second. If I could see the state and the defense in breakout room number 5, please.
Yes, Your Honor.
Oh, Brenna, why is it doing that? It was working fine before, Brenna.
You might have to release them and then try.
No, I've already removed all spotlights, so let's see what happens.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Judge, I'm moving to a quieter spot. I don't want you to yell at me.
Oh, there it goes.
Yes. Brenna, I think today that Blakely is deciding to narrate his life. Like, Okay.
Well, no, I know, you know, you don't like
It's like
people
I'm now
walking.
moving to a different location. Is this apocalypse now? No, a filming of the filming of the film.
Yes. No, I just want to, I know you set a hard line on people not to screw with your Zoom, so I don't want people to get the wrong message by me taking liberties.
No. If that were the case, Blakely, I would require you to appear in person. And I
I
tell
would
you,
love,
it's 300 De La Rosa, 4th floor.
I'm down. I am down. I think I would enjoy that.
All right, so we are back on the record in 2020 CR 1567. Mr. Barnett, I'm going to show you a document entitled Court's Admonishments and Defendants' Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions. Did you review that document with your attorneys? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Judge Boyd.
Did you understand in counts 3B and 4B, you're charged with the offense of aggravated assault, serious bodily injury? That's a second-degree felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 20 years in both of those counts, and a possible fine of $10,000 in each of those counts. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea bargain agreement. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea bargain agreement and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you, and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call, and the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea bargain agreement in this case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand if the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty and sentence you up to 20 years in prison in each of these in each of these counts? Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses to this offense?
He has, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
He does, Your Honor.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
He is and was.
Mr. Barnett, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, Your Honor.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea bargain agreement to get you to enter this plea?
No, Your Honor.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
I am, Your Honor.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
I am, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Next, I'm showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that page with your attorneys? Did you understand it?
I did, Your Honor.
According to the plea bargain agreement, the state will be proceeding on counts 3B and 4B as amended. They will waive the remaining counts and waive the enhancement allegation. There's to be a $2,500 fine. State recommends deferred adjudications. Counts 3B and 4B are to run concurrently. There's to be restitution, if any, to Shamian, Shameon, Henry, and Ellis Morganfield. Did you understand that to be the plea bargain agreement?
I do, Your Honor.
Defense, is that the plea bargain agreement?
It is, Your Honor.
State, is that the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Judge.
Next, I'm going to show you the paragraph entitled Waiver of Repeal. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in both places?
I did, Your Honor.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
I did, Your Honor.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
Sorry, Judge, you broke up.
Have there been any such motions?
There have been pretrial writs filed in the past, Your Honor, but there's nothing pending before this court at this time.
All right, have any of those motions been heard?
Yes, Your Honor.
And those writs were as it relates to bond or something else?
Correct, Your Honor. It was related to bail and bond conditions, nothing related to the material facts in this case.
Next, I'm going to show you outside the plea bargain agreement. The state is requesting that your deferred adjudication be for a term of 5 years. There be a top evaluation, 200 hours of community service restitution, DWI intervention, DIP live, ignition interlock for 2 years, then reassess. driver safety course, or defensive driving. Did you understand those are recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
I do, Your Honor.
Then to count 3B, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest, Your Honor.
And to count 4B, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest, Your Honor.
State any evidence to support the defendant's plea.
State offer stage 1 and attachments, Judge.
Any objections?
No objections, Your Honor.
Mr. Barnett, I'm going to show you what's entitled waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
I did, Your Honor.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call and the right to remain silent?
I do, Your Honor.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
I do, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. The court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty of count 3B and count 4B. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Your Honor, after having discussions with you and Hunter, I see no reason to reset unless the court finds that it would like to have an opportunity to have him reviewed.
All right, anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Your Honor, Mr. Barnett is, this was a tragic case, but in the interim, while this case has been pending, Mr. Barnett has tried to take steps to demonstrate to this court and to the state and to the complainants or the victims of this crime that, you know, he has done everything to try to address any rehabilitation efforts he needs to do. So that way he wasn't just waiting for the court to assess punishment and tell him what he needed to do. He has completed DWI education. He has completed DWI intervention. He went and met with a licensed professional doctor who did a independent substance abuse evaluation on him and found no concerns of, you know, related to any sort of ongoing alcohol dependence. He has been on SCRAM monitor for the first 18 months of this case while it was pending indictment and had no violations. I would just like to ask the court to take that into consideration, as well as the cost of that to Mr. Barnett, as well as he has been on the ignition interlock device for the entire length of this case on bail conditions, and he has had no violations while on bail. And I would just like for the court to take that in consideration as well. All property claims have been paid in this case. That we are just waiting to see what the actual costs of, restitution might be, to which, we anticipate that'll get resolved here in the next few months. And I know Mr. Barnett probably wants to make a statement to this court about how he feels as well, Your Honor.
All right, is there something you want to say, Mr. Barnett?
Yes, I would just like to reiterate what Blakely said. I have successfully maintained for almost 3 years the conditions of bond, was on scram, ignition interlock with no violations, as Mr. Blakely or Mr. Moore stated. I've made every effort to provide the court with sufficient evidence as part of a mitigation packet that was sent to the court.
All right, but the question is, what have you learned? Because this is what I find in cases that I've been on as a prosecutor, as a defense attorney, and I see it as a judge all the time. People are always saying how criminal cases affect them personally. Like defendants, those who are accused, they're like, well, this is how this has affected me. But really the issue is, what has this done to the complainants? Right?
Yes, Your Honor.
So what have you learned from this? That's the main question. What have you learned from all of this?
Yes, Your Honor. I've learned that certainly my actions have consequences and impact others. And I certainly feel, that this, as Mr. Moore stated, was a tragic occurrence that impacted the complainants or the victims in this case. I do feel sympathy for them and remorse that for the what they've endured as part of this incident, Your Honor.
And see, sometimes people use words. They're like, this is a tragic occurrence, like this is some out-of-body experience and that somebody was just viewing it happen. So again, we come back to what have you learned from all of this?
And Your Honor, I apologize if I may step in just really quick. This might be because Mr. Barnett is following legal advice of not just us, but his insurance defense. There's an ongoing, two ongoing personal injury lawsuits set for jury trial in the spring for both victims, complainants in this case. And so I think he's not trying to appear unsympathetic, but he's trying to follow his lawyer's advice on both sides. And if I could have 30 seconds with him, I could explain what this court is seeking. Again,
Sure. Because here's the main thing. I've read this, and what it says, he drank and then he drove. So if I were in a situation where I drank and I drove and an accident occurred, what I would have learned from that is, Stephanie Boyd, don't drink and drive.
Yes, Your
Now,
Honor.
mind you, I would never be in that situation because I don't like the taste of alcohol, so I don't drink at all. But I never learned to appreciate alcohol, so I don't drink at all. But so I would think that someone would say, what I've learned is, even if it's one drink, even if it's half a drink, it's probably best that if I'm going to go to a restaurant and drink, or that if anybody is going to go to a restaurant and drink, have a plan in place. And if everybody would have a plan in place, we wouldn't have DWI thirds. We wouldn't need an alcohol court. They call it drug court or DWI court. We wouldn't need that because they would be like, I'm going to drink. I have a designated driver. And as Brenna will tell you, usually in my circle, I'm the designated driver. And people tell me, Judge, you can have all the Sprites with limes you want, it's on us. But so that's what I'm hoping you have learned, Mr. Burnett. There should always be plans if you're drinking. Some people intend sometime to only take one drink. And then the next thing you know, somebody buys a round of drinks and it's another drink. Now, is that the law? that you take one drink and you can't drive. No, that's not the law. But if people were to do that, we wouldn't be here for these cases. We wouldn't have complainants who are injured, who have broken bones. So I'm hoping you have learned that, Mr. Barnett.
I have, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Barnett, are you
Judge
employed?
Boyd, oh, sorry. I was just going to ask Mr. Barnett one question, if that's okay.
Yes.
Mr. Barnett, could you please clearly state to the judge when the last time you consumed any alcohol was?
The night of the accident, December 12th, 2019.
Okay.
2018, I believe.
Or 18, yes. Apologies.
All right. Sorry.
All right.
That was it.
Thank you. Where are you working? What do you do?
I work in medical device marketing for 3M.
Okay. And do you have a sponsor? Have you been doing AA meetings?
I have not, Your Honor. I went to AA as part of the DWI intervention course, and also had the out-of-pocket psychological evaluation, the full workup, which indicated no dependency issues.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Any other questions from anyone else?
Just one more question, Mr. Barnett. Mr. Barnett, if the court would like you to participate, you have no disagreement with complying with any conditions the court puts on you, correct?
I do not.
Including if it is to get a sponsor and attend a certain amount of AA as well, correct?
I would, Your Honor. I would, yes.
And with your work schedule, you also had asked me to inquire with the court, since this is the sentencing phase, as to whether or not you could do, with the time you have, to do a cash donation instead of the 200 hours of community service.
I would like that consideration if possible, yes.
All right.
That's it. That's it, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you. So this is what the court is going to do. Count 3B and 4B will run concurrent. 5 years deferred adjudication. 200 community service hours restitution. The court will deduct 40 of those hours if you've had the COVID vaccine and you provide proof. Again, I'm not forcing anyone to do the COVID vaccine, but if you do it, 40 hours will be deducted. As far as you being able to buy out of your community service hours, you can come back to the court in 4 months. Let's see how you're doing, and then I'll make a decision on whether or not to allow you to buy those hours out. $2,500 fine, that'll be probated. Restitution, if any, to Shamian Henry and Ellis Morganfield. Proof of employment within 15 days. There's to be no employment as a home healthcare provider with minors. DWI intervention, DIP live, ignition interlock for half the term, and then to be reassessed. There's to be a driver safety course or defensive driving. There's to be regular Zoom reporting. If you're not able to report by Zoom, then you need to report in person. Field visits, random, 1 time per month. Regular UA. Rebecca, is there anything else that he needs?
No, ma'am.
All right, and Rebecca, the court's understanding and the court has received with agreement from the state a packet that Mr. Moore and Mr. Wilson prepared. I forwarded that to you, and there are some of these items that Mr. Barnett has completed. Mr. Barnett, is there anything else that you need from this court in order to be successful in this probation?
Do not believe so, Your Honor. No.
Okay, I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it?
I did, Judge Boyd.
All right, because there's a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
I do, Judge Boyd.
All right, we can go off the record. Mr. Barnett, this is what I want you to think about. You have children, right?
I do, Your Honor.
All right, so you need to start thinking as, because you have children, what you've done today, somebody else could have done that to one of your children. Just take a drink at a bar, go out and drive, and accidentally hit someone. When people drink, I don't think anybody has the intention, I'm going to drink, I'm going to get in an accident. Things happen. You understand?
I do, Judge Boyd.
So from here on out, everything that you do, every decision you make, you need to ask yourself whether or not this is a decision that could potentially result in me going to prison for 20 years.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. My understanding, we have victim impact. Is that correct?
Yes, Judge. The first individual, Judge, is Mr. Ellis Morganfield.
All right, Mr. Barnett. In this courtroom, I require everyone to treat everyone with respect. So the two complainants in this case have some things they want to say to you. I expect you to sit there and just internalize what they're saying and hopefully learn from it. All right?
Yes, Judge Boyd.
All right. So who's first, Mr. Morganfield?
Yes, Judge.
All right, Mr. Morganfield, could you unmute yourself, please? All right, you may start, Mr. Morganfield.
Yes, Your Honor. I thank God I'm here today. Because it was a really close call. I could have died that night. Had I not seen Mr. Barnett coming, I would have been smashed between those cars. And now I have to live with this lifetime changing the experience, you know. I was kind of entrepreneur at the time, you know, had a food business going. And in fact, the gas that I used to come help Miss Shamian Henry out that night happened to be, you know, in a gas container that I used for the generator on the food truck. She just happened to call me at a time in need where I wasn't using it that night. And I had to bring it to her. And I didn't know this was going to happen. I mean, only God knows when we hear him and when we're leaving. And also, you know, through the Spirit give us warning. This night, he gave me the warning and allowed me to stay a little longer. You know, I appreciate the course today on, you know, their involvement and help. And I do feel like Mr. Barnett, I agree with the court that should show a lot more remorse than what he's showing, you know, concerning that night. I mean, it just sounded real legal. Nothing from the heart to me. I mean, concerning his action. I just wanted to say that because that's what I'm feeling right now. I know he has a family of his own livelihood he needs to protect, but I have associate's degree and HVAC and refrigeration stuff that I went and got so that I can have a different livelihood. That dream is shattered. The cooking dream is shattered, you know. I got bills and stuff I can't pay for, you know. Right now I'm on fixed income. And so, you know, it's hard right now for me and my family. I got a child in school and college. But then Houston, she can't get the support that I want to give her. And she's struggling herself. It's affecting me, my family, you know. I don't know how I'm gonna make it through this, but God does. And so I'm just trying to get the things to make me whole again, because I'm incomplete right now. I'm broken up with my life.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Morganfield.
Thank you.
All right, Miss Henry.
Oh.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. My understanding is there's something you wish to say.
Yes, Judge. And thank you. I appreciate all the help. I just wanted to say that, you know, like I forgive you for the impact that you caused on my life. At the time, I had my 7-year-old son, and I had a 4-month-old in the car when everything had happened. And thank God my little one, my 7-year-old, was able, for the time the ambulance came, to look out for his brother and, you know, just do what he was supposed to do. It changed my life tremendously. You know, every day is not a good day. I went from just being a very independent mom to always needing help, having to learn to walk again, just everything. My 10-year-old now, he, like, you know, got to be a bigger brother dad to his little brother, because it's days that I can't get up and just be a mom. And I have a 3-year-old and he's just always busy. And my life after that has just been about me just trying to make it and be a mom for my kids. And it really just changed me tremendously. But I do forgive you, and I do hope that whatever situation that you in, and you learn from this, because it could have been way different. Like, it could have been a whole lot different. And I don't know, I just hope that for the sake of your kids, as the judge said, that you really learn from this, because it could have been your kids, it could have been your family. And I forgive you, though.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Henry. Are there any other impact statements, Mr. Morris?
No, Judge.
All right. With that, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 2. And probation will go over conditions with you. And Mr. Morris, did you need to speak with your client? I'm sorry, the complainants.
Yes, Judge. If I could be put into a breakout room with Mr. Morganfield and Ms. Henry and Ms. Gomez.
Yes. And also, Mr. Henry, Mr. Morganfield, if everyone can make sure that documentation for restitution is given so that probation will have that. And defense and state will set that for a hearing. If there is an objection to the amount that is being suggested, let the court know.
Yes, Judge.
So,
yes, Judge. Thank you.
All right, thank you. So if you all could go to the breakout rooms, Mr. Barnett, Mr. Wilson, Mr. Moore, if you all will go to breakout room number 2, and you can be excused from there. And then Ms. Henry and Mr. Morganfield, I'm going to send you all to breakout room number 5.
you, Judge.
You're welcome.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Judge.
Judge.
And Mr. Moore, before you go, and Blakely, before you all leave, please get with Ms. Ferguson on a date for the restitution hearing.
Do we want to see if it would even be needed? Because they may, if they come back with the amount.
I just don't want it hanging out there for 3 or 4 months because of
Gotcha.
whatever's happening on the civil side.
Gotcha. And I think from what I've been advised, and maybe the other parties on here, the parties to that civil suit know better than I, but I believe they are set for trial sometime in February.
Okay. All right. Well, we will see what happens. Can you please let Ms. Reyes know that it's in February, please?
But if I'm wrong on that, if anyone wants to correct me on that, let me know.
I believe it's March of 2022.
Okay.
All right. And Mr. Barnett, if you'll go to breakout room number 2, please.
Yes,
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. All right. Is there anyone else ready? Doug Campbell, Michael Latimer.
Your Honor, on Doug Campbell, I believe his client, Mr. Vasquez, needs to go back to the same breakout room. I think they're assigned to, hold on.
Well, I'll send him the 6 so I can pop up for him.
Perfect. I was assigned at 9, 10, and 11, so it was
All right.
hard.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Mr. Vasquez, if you go to breakout room number 6, please.
Yes, ma'am.
You should see something that says breakout room on your end at the bottom of the screen.
It says join breakout room.
Yes, click on
Yes,
that.
ma'am. Thank you.
All right, Michael Latimer on Camarino.
Yes, we're ready on that, Your Honor.
All right, has paperwork been done? What are we doing?
I believe it has.
All right, Mr. Camarino, have you signed any paperwork?
No, ma'am, I haven't signed anything.
So it's not done. All right, Michael Latimer, have you received all the paperwork?
Yes, I signed it about 30, 40 minutes ago.
All right, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 4.
All right.
Mr. Camarino, I'm going to send you to number 4 so your attorney can go over paperwork.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome. And Norma, who's the attorney for Rangel? Ms. Rangel, who's your attorney?
Hello, Judge Boyd. I believe his name is Marco Bass. Were you able to hear me, ma'am?
Yes, I did.
Oh, okay.
Norma, do you know where Mr. Bass is?
He's in breakout room number 3, Judge.
All right, is there anyone available for criminal trial division to go to number 3? And Adam Flores?
I'm right here, Your Honor.
Yes, what is happening with your case?
I'm still waiting on the hearing, Your Honor.
Alcohol, DWI.
All right, where's your client?
Yes, he's in the courthouse, in the house, Your Honor.
All right, just give us a moment when we have a prosecutor available, because your case, it's criminal trial division or family violence?
I believe family violence, Your Honor. I'll talk to Mr. Garcia, the prosecutor.
All right, is there an agreement on this or no?
No, Your Honor.
All right, Deputy Laura, is there a Vincent Escobedo in the courtroom?
Yes, he is, Your Honor.
All right, could you have him come forward?
He's the new mask. Just go ahead and leave your paperwork there. You need to get the mask. There, that first door. Move forward.
And I don't know why it does this sometimes. It's just like fickle. Oh my God. Right? It's like, and I do not understand why it continues to do that.
Thank you.
Now it's back. Who knows why? Mr. Flores, you need to show your video.
Apologize, Your Honor. Right here.
All right, the court is calling cause number CM 087823, State of Texas versus Vincent Escobedo. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state,
Ray Garcia.
for the defense?
Adam Flores for the defense, Your Honor.
And are you Mr. Escobedo? You're gonna need to speak up. Are you Mr. Escobedo?
Yes, Your Honor. Yes, ma'am.
We're proceeding by video because of the pandemic. Any objection from the state?
No, Your Honor.
Any objections from the defense?
No, Your Honor.
The court will note for the record that Mr. Escobedo is in the courtroom. Mr. Escobedo, do you have any objections to this occurring by video?
No, Your Honor. No, ma'am.
All right. Thank you. Defense has filed a motion to modify bond conditions to tracking only. State, have you had a chance to review defense's motion?
Yes, Judge, and we conferred.
All right, state, are you in agreement with the defense's motion?
No, Judge, not at this time. We're opposed.
All right, defense, is your motion. You may proceed.
Yes, Your Honor. I'd like to call his mother, Mrs. Escobedo's mother.
What is your mother's name, Mr. Escobedo?
You pop that one too? Go to the side.
Miss, what is your name?
Herlinda Leal.
All right, could you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
If you can lower your hand, state your name for the record and spell it, please.
Herlinda Leal. Herlinda. Leal. Leal.
Defense.
Yes, Your Honor. Where does Mr. Vincent Escobedo, where does he live at this time?
He lives with me.
Okay. And do you want him to work or stay home?
No, he has to work.
Why does he have to work for?
He has to pay his own way, and we gave him responsibilities, which was the light bill and the water bill and his own food and his clothes and personal items.
Okay. So how much does he eat? Does he eat a lot, a little, or?
No, he eats a lot.
Okay. And how much bill does he pay you like every month? How much if he does work?
On the light bills, about almost $400. On the water bills, about maybe $80-$90.
And do you pay rent? Do you pay mortgage?
He pays, yes, you pay mortgage.
And how much do you pay on that?
I pay almost $1,200.
Okay. And would you like to help? Would you like your son to help you on
But
that?
he was helping before he got on the monitor. That was his thing. But with the monitor and not be able to go to work, it's paused. So, and he still has his job. I've talked to his boss. He's talked to his boss. She sent us a schedule. So he still has his job to go back to.
And where does he work at?
He works at the McDonald's. as a
Okay.
computer.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, any questions? Mr. Garcia?
Yes, Judge, just briefly. Good afternoon, ma'am. Did your son have a job on July 11th, 2021?
Yes,
Was he working at that McDonald's?
at the McDonald's.
Okay. Are you aware that the allegation we're here for today is stalking?
Yes, I know that.
And that happened, or that allegation is reported to be on July 11th, 2021?
Say that again, I'm sorry?
Are you aware that allegation is from the date July 11th, 2021?
No,
Okay. Do you know who the complainant is or who the victim is in this case?
yes, that was his girlfriend.
Okay. And that's Miss Mora, correct?
Miss who?
Her last name is Mora?
I know her name is Valerie Cantu.
Okay, it's Valerie. And are you aware that there are other police reports that she reported where she is the victim in the case and your son is the alleged defendant?
No, I didn't know that.
Okay, you're not aware that she filed a report for harassment?
No,
You're not aware that she filed a report for deadly conduct?
no, I didn't know that.
You're not aware that she filed a report for assault against her?
No.
Okay, no further questions, Judge.
All right, any direct, Mr. Flores?
No, Your Honor.
All right, thank you so much for coming to testify. If you'll just have a seat.
Thank you.
Any other witnesses? Mr. Flores?
No, Your Honor.
All right, do state any witnesses or evidence?
Yes, the state offers State's Exhibit 1, which is a report in this case, Your Honor.
No
Any
objection.
objections?
No
All right,
objection.
State's Exhibit number 1 then will be admitted into evidence.
And I'll send it via email, including defense and court reporter. Brandon.
Thank you.
Mr. Flores, I'm sorry, I thought I had your email, but I don't believe this is you. Can you?
Yeah. Yeah.
In the chat?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
State's Exhibit 1 has been sent.
All right, then, any other evidence from the state other than State's Exhibit number 1?
No, Your Honor, just an argument.
All right, defense, it's your motion. You may proceed with argument.
Yes, Your Honor. The only way asking is that the defendant needs to work so he could buy his own food and help his mother out with the bills. And the other allegation, Your Honor, I don't know about the other allegation, Your Honor, but if they were true, they would have been forwarded to the DA's office, Your Honor. But besides that, Your Honor, we're asking just something reasonable, Your Honor, just him to work.
All right, State.
Yes, Judge, at this time, we're asking to keep on the GPS for the nature of the offense, which is stalking involving an ex-girlfriend. There's also other allegations that go into this stalking. He was working, as you heard in testimony, when he did show up, according to the police report, threatening the complainant. Because it's still less than 2 months old, it's still in the intake process. And because of the nature of the offense and the safety of the complainant, we ask that defense motion be denied.
All right, defense motion is denied. Is there anything else from either party?
No, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Mr. Escobedo, you remain on GPS and it will be full house arrest. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you come back and defense, if you refile the motion and there are no violations, of course, the court may, will reconsider.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're
Maybe
welcome.
excuse, Your Honor.
Yes.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Everyone, just give me a moment. On Mr. Campbell, we're going to bring you back at 2 p.m. The court reporter will need a break. Brenna, we just have one motion to revoke, and that's on Mr. Camarino, and everything else will be back at 2 p.m.
Okay.
Mr. Morganfield, you can be excused from the Zoom. Thank you. Everyone, just one moment. Hunter, could you go to breakout room number 2, please?
Yes, Judge.
Thank you. It's regarding a date for the restitution hearing.
Okay.
And is there a party available on a family violence matter? Ben Camarino?
Yeah, I'm here.
Thank you. Brenna, it happens, right?
There it goes.
Whew. I think maybe sometimes it's
Weird.
moving slow or something. I'm like, okay. All right, the court is going to call 2019 CR 9679W, State of Texas versus Ben Camarino. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
David Martin.
For the defense?
Mike Latimer.
And are you Mr. Camarino?
Yes, ma'am.
We're proceeding by video because of the pandemic. Any objections from the state?
No objection.
Any objections from the defense?
No, Your Honor. No, Your
Mr.
Honor.
Camarino, I'm showing you what's entitled defendant's consent to appear by video conference. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily consented to appear by video conference. Next, I'm going to show you what's entitled motion to enter adjudication of guilt and revoke community supervision. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you the same Ben Camarino who was placed on deferred adjudication in 2019 CR 9679W for the offense of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon on September 23rd, 2019 for a period of 10 years? Is that you?
Yes, Your Honor.
State?
The first condition 2, on or about the 24th day of June 2021 in Bexar County, Texas, the defendant Ben Camarino did then and there illegally use a controlled substance, namely amphetamines, in violation of condition number 2.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
True.
State?
We'll waive the other allegations.
Any objections to the state's waivers?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Camarino, did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 2, the court could find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, and sentence you up to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine? Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 2?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find violation of condition number 2 true. Is there an agreement?
I believe there is, just to deny the motion to enter adjudication of guilt, continue on deferred to alter and amend for the safety relapse program.
Is that the agreement, defense?
Yes, that is the agreement.
Mr. Camarino, are you asking the court to follow that agreement?
Yes, Your Honor, I am.
All right, then the court will deny the motion, alter and amend conditions to include safety relapse. And I'll do safety relapse or either felony drug court. Felony drug court at the moment is full. So you'll be placed on the waiting list. So either you will be going to safety relapse or either you'll be going to felony drug court. Do you understand?
Kind of, Your Honor.
What don't you understand?
I don't understand what the felony drug court is, and I don't understand the waiting. So I'll be waiting for whichever comes first for me.
Yes. A lot of these programs, because there's such a need for them and there's not a lot of money that has been placed in them, or should I say more money is needed to fund them, to get more people, more treatment providers, more beds. So sometimes there's a waiting time period.
Yes.
So Rebecca, I see that you're back. On 2019 CR 9679W, Ben Camarino, he pled 2 to violation of condition number 2. And that condition was from June 24th, 2021. The court found it true. I'm denying the motion. Alternate amend conditions to include safety relapse or the felony drug court program. And I know there's a wait list for the felony drug court program. So whichever comes first, that's the one he'll go to first, but he's to remain in custody until he's accepted in one of those programs.
Okay, I'm gonna put safe P relapse first because probation needs an order, like which one, what referral do we do first?
Oh, do safe P relapse first. And Rebecca, if you could do me a humongous favor and keep an eye out for felony drug court, because I think they may be having a graduation coming up soon.
Yeah, I believe it's in October.
Okay. So Mr. Camarino, I think you would be a great person for felony drug court, but it's just that they're full. There needs
Yes,
to be
ma'am.
more funding from the legislature or
Yes.
whomever does that, okay?
Your Honor, is felony drug court, is that inpatient also?
They will make a felony drug court is a drug program, and they will make a determination of whether or not you need inpatient or outpatient. Based
Okay.
upon your history, they may decide for inpatient. You understand?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
All right, and what are those markings on your forehead?
That's my
Above your
daughter.
eyebrow?
That's my daughter's birthday.
All right, Brenda, we can go off the record. Did you need that to remember your daughter's birthday?
No, ma'am, I didn't.
So, I mean, if you ever forget that birthday, she's gonna say, there's nothing else I can do for him. It's written on his eyebrow.
I've actually been like, since I got out of safety the last time, I was trying to talk to my probation officer about getting this removed and my jawline removed.
Well, I tell you what, if that's your daughter's birthday, now you're gonna have to figure out what are you gonna say when she says, hey, why did you get that removed? Am I not loved enough? I don't know.
Yeah, I know. I'm kind of like,
You're in a
in a
quandary.
hard place. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna send you to breakout room number 1. Probation will go over conditions with you. Mr.
Okay.
Latimer, you can go to number 1, or either you can be excused.
All right, thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Appreciate
You're
it.
welcome. All right, everyone else, the court is gonna take its 2 o'clock break.
Hey, Judge, I'm out of here.
Thank you. Be safe out there.
I was going to let you know the new Rick and Morty dropped last night.
Okay, I'm gonna watch Rick and Morty. I'll watch the new episode. Thank you.
All right, we'll talk to you soon.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
You're welcome.
Judge, does that mean come back at 2?
Yes, 2 p.m.
Thank you.
Thank you. So Norman will need Mr. Vasquez back at 2 and Mr. Campbell at 2. And Rebecca, I sent you to number 1. Thank you. All right, everyone, we'll be back at 2 o'clock. Be safe, have a safe lunch, and Mr. Vasquez and Mr. Campbell will have you come back at 2.